Yeah, absolutely. I would say the greatest attribute of this team would be that, we're, no matter what people say about us, we're always going to keep on fighting. And that, I feel like a lot of people can say that about their team, but I think it's honestly something that I truly believe. That there's people that think that we play bad football and say that we don't have good players, and at the end of the day, we're just a group of cats that are going to go out there and keep on playing no matter what. And yeah, unfortunately, we turn the ball over, and that's kind of how this game goes sometimes. But you just got to move on from it.
How'd the 2-point try open up for you?
Yeah, it was just a schemed run kind of thing. We knew it could be there if the ends were going to play upfield, and we just had a shot at it, and it worked out. It's pretty much all there is to it.
Dan, what's the conversation like with Trevor the last few weeks? Offense, obviously, what's a little out of sync. He obviously turns it over here late. How do you try? Young quarterback, trying to keep him heading in the right direction, even if it's like not all good right now.
Yeah, I think kind of what I was saying to him at the end of the game was he's got a lot of football ahead of him, and he's not going to be defined by like these moments where he turns the ball over at the end of the game, but it's going to be how you're going to respond from it. I kind of gave him a little anecdote of myself when I was second-year player in New Orleans, and I dropped a touchdown pass in the NFC Championship game, and there was a lot of the offseason that I let it define me, and then I kind of finally just made a decision that I'm going to move on from it, and I'm going to become a great football player. And that's something I don't doubt that he's going to be able to do. I have all the faith in him that he's going to be a tremendous player, not only for the rest of this year, but also for 10, 15 years. And he knows that too. And he's going to get there. These are just growing pains. And we'll get there. And like I said, the biggest thing is that we got a bunch of guys around him that are going to support him no matter what. And that's really all there is to it.
How hard is it to get anything going rhythmically on offense when there's drops, penalties? It just seems like everything has to be perfect for you guys to kind of execute and get things going.
Yeah, miscues are always that's just the nature of the NFL. You pretty much have to play perfectly in order to win football games in the NFL. That's just kind of how it is. There was a lot of miscues today. I played, I think, one of my worst games in a while. Drop balls, false start penalties, stuff that just can't happen if you want to win football games, especially tight games against divisional opponents. That's just stuff that can't happen, and I think everybody knows that. And that's going to be. We know we can win football games. We know we're a talented group, and it's going to come down to those little details that we're going to have to really start honing in on those things if we want to, get to the spots, get to the places that we want to get to.
It's magnified when you have a young quarterback still trying to figure out the lead. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest thing is you try and make it as easy as you can for a young guy behind the pocket, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to we got to play better.
Did you agree with saying to Trevor either after the fumble or in the locker room, just kind of just to make sure that he's not going to let this beat him down?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to him. I said, hey, this moment right now is not. That's not what matters. It's how we're going to move on from this, and that's gonna ultimately define you as the kind of player that you are. And I could see in his eyes that he's ready to move on from it. It was all stuff I was saying that he deep down agreed with, I think. But yeah, that's the testament to any athlete these days is you're going to have a lot of bad stuff happen, and it's going to be magnified with all of the cameras and everything around, and all the microphones going. But it's going to be, are you going to be able to shut that all out and just move on and win the next football game?
You talked about your experience bouncing back in your situation and how you think Trevor has the same ability. What's the quality in a major football player that kind of enables you to do that?
Yeah, I think, you have to be rooted in what your beliefs are personally. Whatever motivates you and whatever deep down it is that truly inspires you to be the greatest version of yourself. You have to hone into that, and you have to be real with yourself and know that you can move on. And I think Trevor is a very grounded person, and I think it'll come naturally and easily for him. And it sounds like we're talking about it's all Trevor's fault, but it's not anywhere close to that. I think everybody played bad. There was drop balls everywhere, and penalties everywhere. And I think it's one of those things as an offense we have to kind of just put on our shoulders and say, hey, we got to get better for you, and we will.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, guys.